Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, a brand new day where I just noticed that this got flipped over, and I'm so sorry. I can't stop and go fix it because it is 7:02 a.m. It is Sunday, the 2nd of July, and I am late again. It's after 7 o'clock. I need to get this done. Stuff takes so much time to edit and render that by doing it now, I'm going to be late for my 9 o'clock live time. Son of a gun. Life is life, though. Things have been wonderful. Yesterday, I was worried to death because inside my pocket that you can't see because of the way things are, here is Little Squeak Jr. Yesterday, when I picked up Little Squeak out of her cage and I checked her, her nether end here was all wet and slimy. That's not good. Hamsters, because of their physiology and all, are very susceptible to getting what is known as wet tail. And that is where they get stressed, their immune system gets lower, and they end up picking up a bug that gives them terminal diarrhea, basically. They dehydrate to death. They get a bug, they cannot control their bowels anymore, and they water constantly. They dehydrate to death quickly because they can't stop themselves. People die of diarrhea as well because it dehydrates you quickly. It is not a joke. It is something horrific. And when I saw her end like that, I went, oh no, she's got wet tail. And I'm still at like minus 260 in my checking account. I can't go buy any hamster treatments. So I'm going to put her away because she wants to go back to her cage. And oh, she jumped. Wow. How about that? She jumped out of my hand and almost off of the purple platform that she landed on. So her head was dangling down while her lower feet were holding her, silly little goose. But luckily, I checked her this morning because I was scared to death, and she's fine. Absolutely fine. So I don't know what the issue was, but thank goodness she does not have wet tail. That would have been the end. That would have been the end, and that would have been sad because I've only got the 4 little hammies. I don't want them to die. Poor little guys. But luckily she's a-okay. And you didn't see it, but I'm not going to say it. She leapt out of my hand, just went boom. Made a big jump, landed on her platform. She's a silly goose. So thumbs up on that. Now, one thing that I do want to do is I'm going to my subjects thing, if I can find it, because I wanted to talk about a couple different subjects. Like how back when I was a kid, I actually had a Gestetner mimeograph machine. I bought a mimeograph machine, and a mimeograph machine won't work now. You needed manual typewriters to make them work. There were a mimeograph stencil was a 2-part piece of thing. It was a long piece of cardboard, and then on the front of it, connected up at the top and then loose and floppy, was this, like, it was made out of tissue paper that was coated in plastic. Or wax, not plastic, it was wax. So you wound it into your typewriter, you removed the typewriter ribbon because you didn't want to do ink, and when you typed, the keys went smack up into the wax on the sheet of paper. And it pushed the wax out of the way so that each letter that you typed was a physical hole that knocked the wax out of the way but kept the fiber, the tissue there. So it wasn't just a direct hole, it just pushed the wax out of the way and kept the structure there. When you had typed a full page, and if you wanted pictures, there was a way to scan a picture and it would put it onto a mimeograph thing so you could cut it out and then cut out the section on your mimeograph thing, tape it in carefully with glue, and then the actual mimeograph machine was this big honking thing that you could either run with electricity or run with a crank. But you put the big stencil on it, and then you hooked up the tube of ink to it. It was a big machine. It had a big roller that the stencil went onto, and the stencils were like this long. But you'd put the stencil onto the big roller drum. You had a stack of paper here. You had your tube of ink. And then as you went thunk, thunk, thunk with the handle or ran the machine, so it did thunk, thunk, thunk by itself, it'd pull a sheet of paper through, run the stencil over the top of it, it would squeeze the ink out through all the little letters and onto the page, and then schwap, it would fall out into the "you're done" range, and there was a page. I was a part of an amateur press association that I helped run. In fact, I ran when I was a kid in high school. There were amateur press associations where people would type, you know, like 30, 40 copies of a zine, you know, a magazine, and you would get 30 or 40 copies of it, send it to a central mailer. The central mailer would put it into a book, and he would send that book to all the members. The members would get the book, read what everybody did, and then type their own zine again, where they did Ego Boo, to talk about and say, hey, you did this. It was kind of like websites back before they had websites. You would put up your website in a book, send it to the central mailer. He would have the book of websites, send it out. Everybody read it. And then the comment section, they'd talk about what everybody else did in their zines. And it was fun. You'd do original stuff. You'd comment on what other people did. They were awesome. I ran one of those for a long time, and then I went to the Air Force and had to pass it on. And that lasted for like another 10 years, that one. So it was pretty cool. I also wanted to talk about how my social anxieties are bad, but I haven't always had them. When I was in the Air Force from 1982 to 1986, I was coming out of being in high school where I was wild. I was crazy. I was doing a lot of stuff. I was active. I and a friend, we would do school pranks. We did one where we went around town, got a whole bunch of the sawhorses, blocked off a part in the front of the school so that no one could get through, like there was a thing. We had a chalk outline after one of us had lay on the ground. We put blood smears up where the head was with fake blood, and then left that for the school the next day. Yeah, the people were going home because they were so sick. The story was someone had jumped off the building, and so it was, hey, it was awesome. Did that sort of stuff and really enjoyed it. But I started drinking heavily as a teen, and by the time I got into the Air Force, my get up and go out and meet people started to damp down, and then by the time I got out, I started having social anxieties, and by the time I met my wife, things started getting bad, and now I'm not agoraphobic, but I've got massive social anxieties that make it hard to even go out to stores. Which, again, if you see me out walking, please come up and say hi. It's awesome. I shun and fear human contact, but I realize I really need it. So don't worry. If you see me, come up and say hi. Thumbs up on that. Also, I was watching data moshing stuff. Data mosh is, and when you make a video, it doesn't have every frame as just the video. There is the real frame. Well, in the most common sort of method, they have like one frame that's a real frame, and then like every 3 frames is the actual frame. The other ones in between are interpretive frames, where it just moves some data between the actual frames. And that fools our eyes well enough that it works. And that works for video, internet video. But what happens is if during transfers or whatever, some of those real frames are gone, then instead of just every 3rd, it's like every 6 or every 8 frames is an actual real frame, and it's all the interpretive stuff in the middle. And it holds on to those blocks of info. So you have the stuff like people moving without the frame, with background stuff on their face instead of actual things, because it's using the interpretive information. Data moshing is a kind of, or at least was, I don't know if they still do it, but it was a type of musical and visual art form where you remove a lot of the actual real frames, so it's just the interpretive stuff. And it is bizarre beyond words. It looks so odd. It sounds strange too, because it also works like that for sound, and they'll clip and do odd things to the sound. It is an odd art form that would not be possible without the use of computers and the way that we store data. It is an absolutely new form of art, and it is absolutely astonishing. I watched a side-by-side comparison of a data moshed and a regular of Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball. Disturbing. Just disturbing to watch. It is amazing stuff. And talking about Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. When my wife was alive and that video first came out, I saw it and I went, oh, this is ridiculous. So she just wants to, she's just being exhibitionist and all that. And I went to my wife and I said, what do you think about that? And she said, I understand it entirely. I understand each thing that she's doing and why. I find nothing exploitive about it. It is just a long cry of pain. Now, my wife was very, very smart about things. She came from a background where her father is a psycho. He's still psychotic. He does not see people as people. You are just a means, a resource to use on his way to do what he wants. And he's not a good guy. And so her life was not good with him. And so it really gave me a different understanding of that the minute that she said that. And I went, whoa, okay, I need to rethink. So just thought I'd mention on that. And boy, actually that was all my topics that I had written down. I went to bed early last night because I was so tired because of the heat and I just have not been sleeping. Yesterday was not a good day. And this morning I'm just tired. I did not sleep well. We've got dogs that have been barking all frickin' night. I had a horrible anxiety attack yesterday that left me exhausted and still anxious. So it was not easy to sleep last night. And then I woke up way early this morning, finally got out of bed at like 4:30ish like that, and it's like, I'm tired. But I got to process, and thank you so very, very much for being a part of my processing time. If I can't process, if I can't talk, then I'm stuck. I'm a talker. I've been a talker my whole life. In fact, that was one of my wife learned to just keep one ear open and the other ear open this way so that it would go in and out, and she would just make the proper noises periodically. So it worked out. Thumbs up on that. Well, at 12 minutes and change, what I'm going to do then is I have already gone through on the community tab of my page, and I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments starting from 2 minutes ago, apparently. I guess it still updates even when it's open. I opened it up, I went back, like I said, 24 hours. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people. It's a range because I count like 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. And so sorry about that. Now, I'm just thanking people for leaving the comments. I'm not reading the comments yet. I'm going to thumbs up and answer as many as I can. But right now, no. And I talk with my hands. That's why I hold my hands up and wave them around. That's why when I really hurt and I can't move, it feels so unnatural, because I must have a lot of Italian in me. I talk with my hands all the time. It drives me crazy when I can't, which is rough for acting, because when you gotta act, you can't do that. You gotta keep your hands down. So, thumbs up. But anyway, if you'd like a shout out, just ask for a shout out in the comments, and if I catch it, you got it. And no disrespect intended when or if I mispronounce your name. I am better at pronouncing names than I thought I would be, but I'm still an American English speaker and not really good. First off, Plastic Productions, of course. And then Giancarlo Oprins, thank you very, very much. Sanyeev Tamang, I would pronounce it as, thank you very, very much. Lambo Rambo, thank you, greatly appreciated. Blitzman, son of a gun. Yeah, Yellow Dog Nut or Donut? Is it supposed to be Donut? I'll call it Yellow Donut 45, thank you very, very much. Eddie Sohana, and then a tongue poking out emoji thing, thank you very, very much. And Nathan Patrick, thank you, greatly appreciated. Brennan Geddes, greatly appreciated. Johnny number 5, I like that name, thank you. Maddie Metz, very, very cool. And Delbert Cutsinger, thank you very, very much. Wettest Bat, thank you. Paynel, P-A-Y-N-E-L, thank you very, very much. Shaniqua Lashana Jackson, thank you very, very much, greatly appreciated. Ex-Hartist, thank you very, very much. Did I just go through? I don't know where I am. Well, I'll do it this way. Nano Hazard, thank you. Andrew MacLeod, thank you very, very much. William Aguilera, thank you. The King 301. See, here's what I mean. I've lost where I was counting. I have no idea where I am. The Mober, thank you very, very much. Mama Chell, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Vorik, V-O-R-I-I-K, thank you. R-Y, thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Sean Shank, thank you. And Young Redneck, son of a gun, thank you very, very much. Maya, thank you. And Tobias W, thank you very, very much. And there is Gurren Logan, Thank you. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Make Yemo great again, son of a gun. And then last but not least is Batmon, M-O-N. Thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, and that's an awesome thing. Now what I'm going to do is the next thing that I'd like to do before my time is all over. And my processing time is I am going to give you my list of greetings. I like to greet people in their home language. If you'd like to hear a greeting in your home language, just let me know in the comments, and if I catch it, I will add it in there. So, bom dia, dia dit, dia gwit, guten tag, ahanyo buenos dias, bună dimineața, ohio, labrīt, labas ritas, kamusta, buongiorno, terahomokos, yoragel, bora baivi, barilus, nihao, kalimera, bonjour, boker tov, dzień dobry, or less formally, chest, labdien, dobre utro, mesa olheli, dobre rano, bereda, privyet, merhaba, and of course go forth and have the crack. Good food, good drink, with good friends. Doesn't have to be crack cocaine, doesn't have to be a glass of alcoholic beverages, doesn't have to be a prostitute spreading her thighs for you. No, the crack. Good food, good drink, with good friends. Son of a gun. Oh, golly, Miss Molly. Well, it's 16 minutes, which means I do have a little bit of time to talk about something, do I? I don't really have much to say. I've wanted to talk more about my military time, but I couldn't really, while I was thinking today, couldn't really think of any stories. I got a lot of stories, but a lot of them are gone because I was really drinking heavily during those days. You don't remember things when you're drinking, especially when you black out. And I, as an alcoholic, when I start to drink, I need to drink until I black out. I do not like the feeling of sobering up. I like to get drunk and keep getting drunk until boom. I hate hangovers, and I lived with them daily for all the time I was drinking. I do not miss hangovers. Let me tell you that. It is nice not having hangovers. So at the very least, I'm so glad to be sober for that reason. But yeah, there's so much of my life that is just gone. I have no ideas. It's stuff that I did while drinking, and I black out when I drink because I don't like the feeling being sober once I start drinking. And once you reach a peak and then start to sober up, it doesn't feel good. Your body does not like being drunk. It's poison. The feeling of being drunk is you being poisoned. That's why you puke if you drink enough. You're poisoned. Your body is trying to get the poison out. Thumbs up on that. Well, I might as well do this and say, hey, if you could check out my links down below, that would be awesome. Just click on Show More. They open right up. There's merch and links and all sorts of stuff. My thanks to everybody who's donated to my GoFundMe account. If you could donate, that would be awesome. I like minus 260 in my checking account. I need to get to 0 by the 3rd. Don't think I'm going to make it, but if you could help, that would be awesome. My thanks to everybody who has donated. It hasn't been much, but I appreciate anything. Thank you all so much. You brought me from minus 300 to minus 260. That's awesome on its own. Thank you so much. Hopefully, I've got all my Patreon.com patrons here. My list was gone and destroyed, so hopefully it's here. Thumbs up on that. I would not even have been able to live in this house this long without the wonderful, kind help of every single one of you. Thank you so very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Wonderful, beautiful people. If you could toss me a like, that would be awesome. I do appreciate all the positive validation for my existence. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be cool, but only if you're down with it, of course. If you don't like the videos, don't watch them. If you don't like the channel, don't subscribe. If you're unsure where you go, well, maybe I'll just subscribe, and if I don't like his stuff, I'll unsubscribe. Well, just don't. Save yourself the trouble. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help me. It doesn't help anybody else. It's just, don't. But if you are down for it, son of a gun, I will do my damnedest to keep you entertained from now until the end of time. Literally the end of time. Well, the end of time for most of you. I mean, we slap a few coats of sealant on you, stack you like cordwood down in the basement. You'll last for a couple decades before you go bad. So that's awesome on its own. 19 minutes and change. I've got a reaction video coming up. Last night I did a game video. I meant to post it yesterday. It was such a bad day I went and fell asleep until it was so late I couldn't even post it. So that's going up today. Son of a gun. Might have another one. I don't know. But I'm going to have at least one game video, at least one reaction video. So you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing, my friend.